Have you ever felt this deep, kind of weird sense of loneliness, even when you're completely surrounded by people? It's a really strange, isolating feeling. And today we're going to dig into a reason for it that might surprise you.
Yeah, it's that classic feeling, right? You're at a party, maybe a work meeting, or even just hanging out with friends, but you feel totally disconnected. It's like you're behind this invisible wall, just watching everyone else interact. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, then you are in exactly the right place.
And here's the big idea we're going to unpack. We always assume loneliness is about not having enough people around. But what if it's not about the number of people, but the way you think compared to them? What if that disconnect is actually happening on a cognitive level?
So, let's get clear on who we're talking about here. This has nothing to do with being smarter than anyone else. Not at all. It's about a fundamental difference in how your brain processes the world around you.
I just love this quote because it paints such a perfect picture. You know, so much of our world is built for linear thinking. It's fast, it's efficient, it's straight to the point. But some of us, well, we're just wired differently. We don't just see the surface of things, we see all the connections, the history, the potential bubbling up from underneath.
The difference is pretty stark when you lay it out like this. Linear thinking is all about how do I get from point A to point B as fast as possible. It just wants a simple, clean answer. But layered thinking? It's not just looking at A and B. It's asking, okay, but what's the backstory of A? And how does A connect to X over here? And what could its relationship with Z mean for the future? It's not about being slow. It's about being thorough. It's about being comfortable hanging out in the complexity of it all.
So if you're a layered thinker, you can probably guess that trying to live in a world that mostly rewards that straight-line, linear thought, well, it can create some very real friction. And this is right where that feeling of loneliness starts to creep in.
Do any of these just hit you right in the gut? That feeling that small talk is just exhausting? Or you find yourself replaying social interactions in your head over and over? Maybe you've been told you're too intense when you just want to have a real conversation. You crave that deep, meaningful connection, but it feels impossible to find people on your wavelength. These aren't personal flaws, I promise. They are the super common struggles for someone who's looking for depth in a world that often prefers to just skim the surface.
Okay, this brings us to what I think is the most important part of this whole conversation. We're about to put a name to this feeling, and trust me, just having the right words for it can be incredibly powerful.
Let's really break it down. You're not alone, but you feel lonely. What is actually going on here?
Okay, here it is, the key difference. Social loneliness is the one we all know about. The problem is a lack of people. The solution? Usually, just go be around other people. But cognitive loneliness is a completely different beast. The problem isn't a lack of people, it's a lack of understanding. The cause isn't being physically alone, it's being intellectually or emotionally isolated. And that means the solution isn't just to be in a crowd, it's to find that one person, that genuine connection with someone who truly gets it.
And there's the official definition. Cognitive loneliness. It's that feeling of having an entire universe inside your head, but you can't seem to find anyone else who speaks its language. It's about the quality of your connections, not the quantity of your contacts.
So let's just say that one more time. It is not about how many friends you have. It's about the depth of the connection you share. Your feeling is totally valid. It just has a different root cause than you might have thought.
All right, so now that we know what it is, let's talk about how to flip the script. Because this isn't about diagnosing a problem, it's about unlocking a superpower you might not have known you had.
I want you to really let this sink in for a second. That feeling of isolation, the one you've maybe been a little ashamed of, or that you've chalked up to being a social failure, it's time to reframe that. It is not a bug, it is a feature. It's the natural result of having a mind that sees the world in brilliant, high-definition color. It's proof that you're looking for more, because you see more. And that is a gift. Honestly, just giving this feeling a name, cognitive loneliness, can be a total game changer. It frees you from trying to solve the wrong problem. See, instead of forcing yourself into more social situations that just leave you feeling drained, you can start intentionally looking for those deep connections that will actually energize you. You can finally stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and start asking, "Where are my people?"
And really, that's the big takeaway here. This isn't about changing who you are to try and fit in. It's about changing your environment to honor who you already are. So I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. Instead of trying to be less deep, how can you start building a life that actually has room for all of your amazing, complex layers?